Item 4, discussion of Canton's appointment of Crime Lab Director, discussion of Scog's role in hiring Crime Lab Director or any other Scog-funded employee. Before we get to this item, I am going to make a general statement. I would like to recognize Mayor Healy. It was great to see him attending today's meeting and ask for the floor to discuss his role in parts of this. I'd also like to identify the fact that there are members or employees from the Crime Lab today. And because we're not familiar with you, we could ask that the employees from the Crime Lab who are here stand up and please identify yourself. Your names, please.
Oh, I'm Jay Spencer. I've been at the lab for about 27 years.
Larry Mackey. I've been through the lab for almost 6 years.
Kylie Graham, I've been in the lab for about 7.5 years. Michelle Foster, I've been in the lab for, I'm in my 25th year. Jennifer Creed, I've been here 16 years.
Brad Taylor, been here for 15 years.
Thank you very much for attending and for taking the interest in a subject that is obviously very near and dear to your hearts. On this item, and again, this may take me several minutes to cover, but I wanted to initiate the discussion that I think we need to have and provide some parameters for it. We are familiar with the issues surrounding the appointment approximately a week or so ago of Chief Rick Perez to the position of Crime Lab Director. And in today's news, Mayor Healy's acceptance of Chief Perez's resignation. The resignation of Chief Perez from the position of Crime Lab Director is a starting point for our discussion, however, not an ending point. This incident involving Canton's unilateral declassification of the Crime Lab Director position and the lowering of the educational and professional qualifications to hold the job has damaged the Crime Lab and Scog. The city's failure to communicate its unilateral action on this matter to Scog, which funds the Crime Lab, and to which Canton has been a charter member for 30 plus years, undermines a long-standing working relationship between Scog and Canton. We now have several police agencies either actively withdrawing from the Crime Lab or considering to do so as a result of this incident. We have serious concerns expressed by the Executive Director of the Accreditation Agency concerning supervision of the Crime Lab. And to my information, the Crime Lab faces serious accreditation issues this year. Everything that has occurred in the last week, and in fact to some extent in the last 18 months, has negatively affected public and governmental perception of this agency and has affected trust and credibility, not only as to the job that the Crime Lab can perform, but as to Canton's and indirectly to Scog ability to properly administer this agency. As a starting point for today's discussion, I suggest the following areas of discussion. One, that the former job description, which was rewritten after the declassification of the job from the Civil Service Commission, which previously required scientific degrees and scientific experience, be readopted. In fact, I believe that the job description probably needs to be re-examined because that job description, I believe, dates back to 1993. So I think that it probably needs to be re-examined and updated in view of a changing world of forensic science. Second, in order to immediately reestablish credibility of the Crime Lab, I suggest as a topic of discussion for all of us that former Director Bob Budgate, who had a very excellent reputation with regard to the operation of the Crime Lab, be appointed to the interim position of Crime Lab Director. 3, that the hiring of a permanent director should be nationally advertised, and the selection by a panel of qualified representatives from Scog and Canton. Scog needs to have hiring approval over this position. 4, although the Scog bylaws have worked well in the 30 plus years of their existence, during which time a period of mutual cooperation between Scog and the many other political subdivisions has existed, the present incident indicates a need for a re-examination of our bylaws. The bylaws need changes to provide cooperative approval of hirings or firings of the supervisors of any Scog-funded activities. And finally, Scog funds the Crime Lab. Scog's funding to the Crime Lab is based upon the local government fund settlement agreement or settlement formula, Approximately one-third of the funding for the crime lab and Scog comes from the city of Canton. Approximately one-third comes from Stark County, and approximately one-third comes from the remaining 35 political subdivisions in Stark County. Scog also owns, and again, I need that double verification on this, but our administrator, Don Archer, tells me that Scog owns approximately 95% of the equipment of the crime lab. Given the fact that we fund the crime lab and that we own this equipment, I believe that the bylaws need to be amended to provide Scog substantial control over the hiring and operation of the crime lab, or alternatively, that the crime lab become a Scog function independent of Canton. Again, these are starting points for discussion. I don't anticipate that we're going to reach any final conclusions today. There's a lot of work to be done on this, and I think that many of these matters have to be referred to various committees. But again, for purposes of discussion and otherwise, I